What is going on, Hive Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and today we're going to talk about 6 things that you can do to be successful with intermittent fasting in the year 2020. Before I start anything, I definitely want to say Happy New Year's, and unlike a lot of fitness experts and fitness bloggers, I do appreciate when people utilize a jump start for their health with using a New Year's resolution to do that. I am actually someone who did that. I implemented intermittent fasting as a New Year's resolution, and I haven't looked back since. Sometimes you need that spark and that fire to create that rhythm that can keep you going for the rest of your life. Now, with that out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and break down these 6 things that you can do in the year 2020 to be successful with intermittent fasting. Stay tuned. Alright guys, quickly before we start, this video of course is brought to you by Fledge Fitness and the Fledge Fitness Jump Rope. If you haven't gotten yours yet, what are you waiting for? You cannot go wrong with the Fledge Fitness Jump Rope. This is one of the best speed ropes that you can use for an amazing price at $16.50. With its ergonomic design, aluminum handle, and swivel design, the link of course will be down in the description, or you can click the top right hand corner. And of course, as always, thank you for your support. Now let's go ahead and jump into the video. First thing you want to do is you want to start off slow. Now, I have been pushing up against intermittent fasting protocols that are about 12 hours. I feel that 12 hours of not eating and then 12 hours of eating is basically a regular day. So many people literally do this by accident every single day, so I never gave it any importance. Plus, with the metabolic switchover being from 8 to 12 hours, you don't know if you fall within the realm of 12 hours, and that means that the fasting process technically starts after that 8 to 12 hour pending time frame where you're waiting to get into a fasted state so that you can start to reap the benefits of fasting. So if you cut yourself off at the 12-hour mark, it goes against you. I've never been an advocate for that, but thinking about it more over the course of this year, I feel that there is an application to fasting for 12 hours, that there can be an application, and it isn't to get the benefits of intermittent fasting or to stay there. It's just to get you into the mindset of creating a rhythm within hours throughout the day that you don't eat and you do eat. Setting up that mental rhythm can actually help you step into the door of intermittent fasting. You find it really difficult to do 16-8, which is 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating, then try the 12 and 12, just so that you can create this structure and have like this planned protocol of times when you eat and times when you don't eat. This will then allow you to make that leap from 12-12 to 16-8, as opposed to making that leap to 16-8 from just random eating throughout the day or structured breakfast, lunch, dinner model. So start off slow. A lot of people just jump to 20 hours of fasting, or jump to 1 meal a day, or jump to alternate day fasting. Start off slow if it's hard for you. If you can jump into it and you're okay, that's fine. If you try to jump into something like 20 hours and then you just completely fell off the 3rd day or the 4th day, then try to start off slow so that you can get into that flow. It's always going to be super hard in the beginning, or much more difficult, especially if you're not used to it, because your body's going to be fighting against it. It's going to be raising your ghrelin levels, lowering your leptin levels to get you to eat. It just doesn't want to be in a position where you're not eating. But once your body gets acclimated to the process, it becomes much easier. And this process normally takes about 3 to 4 weeks so that you can actually get into that flow and the hunger starts to go away and your body accepts the new protocol that you have. But if you jump to 20 hours, or if you jump to 1 meal a day, or if you jump to alternate day fasting, that transition period is going to be much more grueling. So it's up to you, whatever you think you can do. But if you have any fears that you might fail, or if you tried and failed and you jump to something so aggressive, try jumping to something as low as 12-12 as a stepping stone to the other protocols that can actually give you benefits that come from intermittent fasting, like 16-8, or 20 hours of fasting, 4 hours of eating, or 1 meal a day. Bouncing off of that one perfectly into this one, make sure you pick a sustainable protocol. Make sure you pick something that you can can actually do for the rest of your life, because something that I always talk about is adherence. Adherence is incredibly important. If you cannot do it for the rest of your life, then it's a waste of time, to be honest. Yes, you'll get transient benefits from intermittent fasting, which means you'll get benefits while you're doing intermittent fasting, but you will lose those benefits as soon as you get out of intermittent fasting, because intermittent fasting in and of itself creates this hormonal cascade that helps you get into these positions where you're partitioning your calories and burning fat effectively, where you're retaining muscle, where you're improving inflammation, improving health markers, reducing oxidative stress, increasing insulin sensitivity while simultaneously decreasing insulin resistance, improving blood pressure. All of these things are working in tandem because you are doing intermittent fasting. So if you're just using intermittent fasting as something to lose weight, you're going to gain weight again. And it's not because intermittent fasting destroyed your metabolism. It's because whatever you were doing before was what had you at the weight that you were before you entered intermittent fasting. So all you're doing is going back to your old ways. Trust me, it's not that you're just need something to get you to a certain place and then you'll be all right. The lifestyle that you're living is what got you to the place where you're uncomfortable, where you don't like how you feel health-wise. So if you want to be in a better position, you have to pick whatever regimen you pick, even if it is an intermittent fasting, whatever regimen you pick, you have to be able to understand that you can do that for the rest of your life. If not, it will all be for nothing. Particularly here in the United States, we don't have too much of a diet problem or a weight loss problem. We have a weight regain problem. A lot of people can lose weight a bunch of times, but they're constantly regaining it. And this is because they're not doing things that they are adhering to for the rest of their lives. Now, moving on from that to number 3, eat nutritionally dense foods that are also satiating. You want to reduce processed foods because they're not satiating at all, but they carry so much calories and they have little to no nutrition value. Yeah, they might taste good, but they're not nutritionally dense. And one thing that happens with intermittent fasting, it's somewhat of a hack system with your body where you are refraining from nutrition for a good amount of time. And because of that amount of time without nutrition, your body starts to activate certain things to defend itself. And that's where you're hacking your body to partition calories from body fat and start the beta hydroxybutyrate release that releases ketone bodies into the blood that helps you utilize that for fuel and for other health related elements. So when you do eat, you want to make sure you do load in as much nutrition as you can. And if you're eating nutritious foods, you want to make sure you're also eating satiating foods, foods that make you feel satisfied, not foods that carry so many calories, but you can just keep eating and eating. You don't want to do that because you can easily overeat during your intermittent fasting protocols, even if your eating window is just 4 hours or 8 hours. But if it's nutritionally dense and it's very satiating, that will be very difficult to do. Now moving on to the fourth thing, increase your protein intake. Protein has been shown to have an increased thermic effect when you eat it, by far more than all of the other macronutrients. Not to mention, it also helps you with the building blocks of your muscle, which is amino acids. And muscle tissue in and of itself is the most metabolically active thing that you can carry on your body. So why not help your intermittent fasting protocol by also taking in as much amino acids as possible? Studies show that all you need is about 0.7 to about 1 gram of protein per body weight. There hasn't been any detriment to eating more than that, but definitely if you eat less than 0.7 grams per pound of body weight, there is some type of a diminishing effect where you are building as much muscle as you can. And of course, this is in tandem with going to the gym so you can build that resistance, so that you can build that hypertrophy and build more muscle. Trust me, don't push aside your muscle tissue because it's very important, especially maintaining weight loss over the long term when you're at a caloric restriction, and caloric restrictions in and of itself reduce your metabolic rate. You want weapons on your side that help you improve your metabolic rate, and muscle tissue is the most metabolically active thing inside of your body. So if you haven't been tracking your macronutrients, please try to get your protein intake or try to up your protein intake if that's something that's lacking. The next thing, number 5, eat foods that you love. Yes, try to make sure that they're healthy. Yes, try to make sure that they're satiating, but try to eat things that taste good. It doesn't have to taste bad. It can still be healthy and taste good. Try to get foods that you love. Try to find out the things that you like, if they're healthy or if they're not healthy, or if they have a lot of nutrition in them, if they're satiating, if they have a lot of protein in them. Try to figure out what they have and try to put together all the foods that you like that have these things that are good for you. Trust me, it will help you in the long run because adherence is the most important thing. So if it's your time to eat and you're eating things that you don't like, you have a higher chance of falling off the bandwagon. But if it's time for you to eat and you're excited about the things that you're eating and you feel satisfied, not just from being full and from the nutrition, but also just from the satisfaction of the flavors of the food, then you'll be better off and you have more longevity or more possibility to have longevity with the protocol. And although I mentioned this, I do want to reiterate this. Number 6, try to incorporate exercise. As I said, your muscles are the most metabolically active in your body. Calorie restriction in and of itself has a metabolic adaptation effect where your body starts to reduce its energy output to match the amount of calorie reduction that you're bringing into it. So you want to combat against that. And things like intermittent fasting help you do that by retaining muscle, but you should add more layers to try to build muscle, retain muscle, do as much as you can to feed the muscle in your body. And that's it, guys. Those are the 6 things that you can do to be successful with intermittent fasting in 2020. And of course, as always, I want to thank my patrons from my Patreon. I'm going to go ahead and put their names right up here. And of course, as always, I'll see you on Wednesday for another FAQ.